Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be playing some Insurgency Sandstorm on my PS5, so special thanks to Focus Entertainment for sponsoring today's video. But boy oh boys, ladies and gentlemen, we've been waiting for this day for quite some time, and you heard me right, Sandstorm is finally on the PS5, PS4, Xbox One, and Series XS. And this right here is going to be my first impressions of the console port and a few tips and tricks to get you started. First off, a few disclaimers. I am by no means a console FPS god. I think the last time I played a console shooter was the original Black Ops years ago, so my aim and control is not the best, and I still ended up dying a ton. Secondly, I am by no means the best Sandstorm player. I just have a few hundred hours on PC and have followed the game since its earliest mention. That being said, I still managed to MVP both of my first two matches in Sandstorm, which you'll see in this video. With that out of the way, let's get right into it. First off, let's talk about what Sandstorm is and how it plays on console. Sandstorm is a tactical first-person shooter that has both co-op and PvP modes and leans more towards the tactical realism side than arcadey. Now, that's not to say that this game plays slow by any means. It's still relatively fast compared to other tactical shooters on the market, but you won't be able to run and gun everywhere, as positioning and situational awareness offer an extreme advantage. This is essentially the thinking man's Call of Duty. As I noted earlier, I've been playing Sandstorm consistently on PC for a while. I have to say that they did an excellent job porting this game to console. The controls make sense, the game runs smoothly, and the sound and visuals have not been sacrificed for this port. So if your fear was getting an inferior product on console, I can assure you that you'll be getting everything that PC players have except for modding, which I hope will come in the future. But now that you're situated and have an idea for what you're getting into, let's run down my 5 favorite tips for new players, specifically in the push playlist. Tip 1, slow down. Now, this isn't Call of Duty where you'll be able to blaze past corners and snapshot people while running. Slowing down and preparing for contact will still give you an advantage, as there's a short amount of time before your ADS completes in Sandstorm. Also, you'll be able to hear players' footsteps and other sound cues like doors much more easily. I didn't even have a gaming headset while recording this footage, and I could still pick up on some important sounds. In addition, with the extremely low time to kill, you'll need to think before you move and have a plan on where you want to go and how you're going to get there, as getting caught in the open means certain death. Also, throughout this video, you'll see me take corners extremely slowly, pre-ADSing, as it offers a huge advantage while peeking. Tip number 2, flank, flank, flank. The maps in Sandstorm are pretty linear for the most part, but still offer more routes than your typical 3-lane COD map. There are plenty of neat places you can sneak in behind or around the enemy if you take your time and look for them. So another small tip here is to not be afraid of the red zone. If you're in the red zone for a short amount of time, you'll be fine, but if you stay too long, you'll lose your ability to shoot. Now, this is fine if you're just sprinting through the red zone to find a flank spot, but don't expect to fight from it. Another mini tip here is to watch for things I call cuts. A cut is a lane or a sight line that crosses the enemy reinforcement path, or another important lane. Cutting off enemy movement before they get to the objective is just as important, if not more important, than sitting on the point itself. Tip number 3, pay attention to your teammates. Whether it's actual communication on comms or just checking out the map every now and then, you'll be able to see which lanes are open and which lanes are closed. Notice you have a lot of friendlies on the right side of the map. Most likely no enemy players are watching that cut. Move over there fast and get close to the objective. Always check the map to see what's going on the objective itself, and if you need to, move over to help. Stalemated means that there's an equal amount of players from either team on the objective. And remember, it only takes one defending player to hold the objective, so hunt down all the defenders in the objective area when trying to cap. Tip 4, pay attention to the reinforcement waves at the bottom of your screen. Now, this is my one secret OP trick, which is paying close attention to when the enemy respawns on their wave. This is huge information, as it can tell you when the enemy is lighting the objective itself as they're all respawning. It can tell you when to expect reinforcements when watching a cut, and it tells you when you need to be extremely careful when pushing into the red zone. For example, if I'm looking to flank in the red zone and I see the wave counter has just ticked down, I know to expect players extremely close to me or coming to me from the other side of the map. And finally, tip 5, PTFO, or play the fucking objective. Most of the game modes in Sandstorm are teamwork oriented, and the nature of the linear maps means that it gets incredibly bloody in the middle or near the objectives. Most offensive pushes will require the entire team working together in some manner to capture the point. This still means you can take your sniper kit or LMG kit, but aim to help the objective in some way. Don't just look for kills. Look for cuts to keep the enemy off the objective. Use smoke, call in off-map assets with the commander. Counter snipe and open up lanes. Flank and work the objective together. There's multiple playstyles that can all benefit the team. But with these 5 quick, easy tips, you guys should be in a good spot to start playing Sandstorm, and you'll learn and die a bunch in the process. And now for this next part of this video, guys, we're going to be doing some commentary / thought process or breakdowns of my first couple games on console, and you'll be able to see what I'm actually doing and thinking as we play. I hope you guys enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe for more tactical first-person shooter content, and buy Insurgency Sandstorm by clicking on the link in the video description. Alright guys, so hopping straight into it, this is our first ever round on the PS5. We busted out a pretty simple kit here. We're using the M4 with the hollow sight, the compensator, and recoil grip just because we want to full auto everyone. Getting used to the controls here a little bit. But we know this guy slide over to the right. And I'm looking for a way to get around him. I don't want to chase him through the corner because he's probably camping it. And we come around the corner here and he's watching it. So this is one of the points where, like, you never want to chase someone or go directly to them in this game if you have to, just because holding corners in this game is so effective. So we're trying to flank the objective here. And we managed to get one of these guys and we get picked off from across. As I'm looking across, I notice the dead cam and I see him in the window. So he's kind of like my next target just because I have the most information on that player. So as we respawn here, we're going to go and look for this guy on the right side just because that's the player I know the most about. And this guy, actually, you can see him up here on the right. And he takes out Temp. So we're going to go back in and hug the right side of the map this time. Just trying to see if we can take that guy out and open up the right lane. Because we have more information on the right side than the left at this point. That's kind of the decision here. So as we're pushing through here, you'll see me slow down. I'm not sprinting around all these corners. And I'll kind of like pre-look in these certain directions where I think he might be. And as I get shot at, I'll speed up a little bit just to get out of the line of sight. But you can see me taking this really slow, right? I'm just ready to shoot if he pops around the corner. And, you know, I guess he moved off or someone shot him. So now I'm looking at the objective. And one of the things I know about this map, just from playing on PC a lot, is that there used to be a spot on the right here. I'm not sure what happened to it, but what I know is you can watch a main cut right here by this car looking under the overpass or whatever this little bridge is here. So I'm going to set up under this truck and I'm literally going to watch this cut. I'm going to set up so that the rest of my team can now flow into the objective on A and I can stop any of their guys from getting into it. So we see their wave spawn because we're watching the respawn timer. And it doesn't really matter if I kill anyone in that spray. My main goal there is to stop them from sprinting in. So you can see our friendlies behind us get into the objective and we're just locking down this cut or this lane. And so we're just going to hang out here, making sure no one goes in that door to our front left. And we're just watching it. And just like that, because we stopped them from getting into the point, we are able to actually get that A point and move to the next objective. Okay, so we skipped up a little bit here and we're pushing to B at this point. And during this time, we know that we just took A, so I'm expecting a lot of movement from A to B. And you can see right here, like, we're finding players, the insurgents, as they're running from the A area because they're going to get blocked out and in the red zone. They're falling back to B. So I don't even necessarily want to sprint from A to B either at this point in time, just because I know there's going to be so much movement right here. So I'm slowing down, watching these corners, and you can see all of the insurgents are moving from the A zone into the B zone to fall back. So taking it slow after you cap a point is really important because you'll see so much movement going back and forth on objectives. Here we're able to slide in and actually get into this really nice spot here on the side. What I like about this spot is going back to sound and listening. I'll be able to hear anyone on the left or, you know, any shots or muzzle flash like I just did there and peek around and actually pre-fire these guys because I can hear through the wall essentially. So the only open area is my back, and as I'm playing here, I hear my friendly on the left shooting and then he gets taken out. So paying attention to all these sounds is very important. As a player goes down behind me, I know there might be someone on that right lane. But once again, another clean cap, and we're going to keep pushing through here. So I took that corner slow, expecting there to be the player. He wasn't actually on the corner, and he popped out on me, and he managed to get me. Good shot there, Mr. Dirty Dog. But you can kind of see how all these little bits of information and taking it slow are very important. Okay, so we're back in again, and now we're pushing to C. Now, honestly, on this map, I don't even know this map that well. I know maybe the first couple objectives, and then I get lost really, really quickly over here. I get really lucky firing this guy down on the way to C. And it's just another thing, right? From B to C, as soon as you cap, every time you cap an objective, you can expect a ton of movement in between because they're falling back just as fast as you are. Now here, I'm trying to find out where this guy's moving. I see him move to the right. I thought this guy got shot from the left corner, so I check it. But I'm trying to move on this guy in the center by just sweeping the right here. And he gets RPG'd out. So I think he's dead. I think it's clear. I start moving up, and I get shot from the side for moving too fast in the open. All right, so we're back essentially where we died. It's been a little bit longer. Like, the red zone should have kicked in by this point for the area around C, so I'm not too worried about moving slowly at this point. It's just you got to remember, every time a zone is capped, the insurgents have a couple seconds to work in that old zone before they get kicked out. So here we get a very lucky shot on that player on the staircase. I know there's a second shooter down there just because we're exchanging fire, and I decide not to take that lane. Right? Whenever we have a known enemy, we don't ever want to push him directly if we can avoid it. And there's plenty of paths here that we can use to try to get around it or find a different angle. And I'm trying to see how I can flank this guy. Like, my brain's trying to work out how do I get behind that guy that was shooting down that lane. So we're going to take the wide right here and see if we can get around him. I hear shots up to my front right. I'm slowed down a ton. And we get him. So here I get shot in the back. Someone else is watching that sight line. It's a 50-50, right? We go left, we go right. It's all up to where they are. So unlucky there. But you can just see how much I slow down once I get really close to where we expect contact. We really want to be ready for anyone coming around the corners as fast as possible. All right, so the next life is in here, and we're just going back roughly to where we were, the bridge on the right where that lane was. And we're going to try to see what we can do over here. Taking it really slow. I don't want to run through here too fast, right? I'm letting this guy walk in front of me. And I notice there's a blue guy in front of me. He gets capped. So I know that corner is being watched. So I slow down again. Pre-ADS, right? Every time I come to a corner, slow down. If you really think you're going to shoot someone, pre-ADS. And now I don't want to go commit through there because I know they're probably watching it. I try to find another route around. We drop down. I see this player here. Hit fire him. And just a reminder, we're always looking for off-angle fights. Very rarely running directly into the enemy. So even here, we're doing that thing where we talked about in the tip side of the video where we're flanking. And this entire time I'm walking in the back line, I'm looking at that reinforcement timer. So now that I see that reinforcement timer, it tells me two things. Number one, there shouldn't really be anyone on the point because they're all dead. They all just respawn. And number two, they're all going to be coming from their spawn. So I push up to get an aggressive cut here. So this is the second aggressive cut I take in this video, where I'm pushed up and I'm ready to get them before they even get into the point. Because the second they get into the point where they're bodying, they can stalemate. And we don't want that to happen, right? We want to make sure that we stop them before they even get into the zone. Right here we get Molotov taking caught. It happens. They're just set up watching for us. But we're going to move on and get to the next life here. All right, so actually taking that last objective means that they're on their last cap, which is not actually a flag. It's a destroy objective, which is Echo right here. And it also drops the enemy defenders down to 0 waves, which means they all have 1 life now. And we have 11 waves left to essentially destroy this cache. So we're pushing this right lane. As you can see, I slow down every time I come into a corner where I think there's contact. And I just slow peek it. I'm listening for guys running around. This guy comes running out. Second guy misses his shot. And I move too fast here. I definitely move too fast there. But what was going on in my brain is I've made so much noise in this open area. I want to get to cover and get out of this hallway or this little alley. So I was trying to sprint out before someone else found me. That guy probably heard our shots and hunted us down. So after I go down, the team pretty much pushes in here and we get a lot of presence just because of how much ground we took on the right side. But there's only a couple of them left and we actually win this round by elimination. So we dropped that last guy in the left, or the teammates did, and we actually get this round in the bag. So we're going to go through and I'll teach you some of the defense tricks that I use on this map, and just general concepts, I guess, and we'll fast forward to this. All right, so we're on the flip side now, the defense side of Tell, and we're actually rolling with the AS Val. I think the AS Val is probably one of my favorite, and is an extremely strong weapon for the Insurgents. Just the rate of fire, the damage that it does, you're able to just dump full auto, and the low recoil means that you can just hold that trigger down. So right here I'm watching an off angle, and there's actually a lot for me to process here because I've got essentially 3 lanes to be checking. I've got that left, the area below me, and then the far side, and I let this guy run, right? I don't want to chase players too much in this game because they'll just 180 and camp the corner on you. So I let him go and I go back to my spot and I'm just locking down this cut, which is essentially a diagonal cut for the entire lane. Like, I can see all movement left to right here. There's no way they can sneak around me. So I'm kind of creeping up here, trying to get a better angle on the gully itself. I noticed this guy, and once again, like, I did the bad thing where I chased him, right? You never want to chase because that kind of stuff happens to you. I should have probably pushed around or you know, not tried to take him head on. But taking head-on fights, it's always down to whoever has their gun ready first. And usually if you're chasing, you're sprinting to catch up. And it's usually going to lead to you getting killed because you're the one moving to meet him. So you always want to be the one on the stationary, prepared end of the fight. Okay, so we end up going back over to this left side. And we have a teammate over here. And I'm just walking in behind this guy. I don't want to get too close to him. I don't want to say we're using him as bait. but we're kind of just letting him scope things out first. And so we're just peeking out here, and I really like this spot just because, like I said before, you can see everything, right? I can see the entire movement on the right side of the map as well as the left. So we just spray down 2 guys right there. Get a new mag in, and I'm gonna clean up this this opposite side push here. And that's pretty much going to lock down that entire wave. So right now, because I know roughly how many people have died, I'm watching the bottom reinforcement timer and waiting for the next wave to spawn because we pretty much wiped out that entire wave. And right there, you see the wave timer go down. I know to now look and actually expect guys to come. So I'm actually aiming now and waiting for that wave to push in. So being prepared, watching the wave spawn time tells you a lot of information. And of course, I have trash aim because I've never played on console before. But just knowing where to go is very important. That guy scares the crap out of me. He just popped his head over the barricade. And that's pretty much, I think that's pretty much this wave, if I remember properly. Oh no, this guy actually gets a really nice shot on me. So I got a little overeager, and he wins the gunfight. Good on him. And that pretty much wraps up game 1 and all the notable like plays, I guess, or decisions I had to make during this first tell round. So let's go ahead and roll now into the next map. All right, so for this one, we're actually playing as the insurgents attacking, and we've already taken A on this map. Once again, rolling out the AS Val is just one of my favorite guns to use in the game. It's just really strong so long as you aren't taking anything outside of like 50 meters, any long range fights. Anything, you know, CQB on in is just gonna be shredded by this thing. So I'm looking to get an angle on B from the side, and hopefully we can make something work. This cap is really hard because there's vertical angles. There's a whole second floor. But we're just slowing down as usual, trying to get on the cap. I'm looking to try to just sit myself on the objective somewhere and to cap this thing. So there's a lot of stuff here for your brain to process. You've got all these little angles and hallways, and then you've got the second floor. You've got the underground section. So just do your best on this cap to lock down what you can. It looks like, just from looking at all the blue diamonds, that we have good control. So I'm not really too concerned about taking this one yet. We get that flag fine. Slow down around the corners, right? As always. And it's a good thing we do because this guy's right here. So I'm not sure if it was my spidey senses or just knowing roughly when to expect people, but just something tells me when to slow down. Like even here, right? Expecting people to be coming from that transition from point to point immediately after the cap, right? That's another big tip, is just as soon as you cap, expect people to be moving around a ton. A couple minutes after, you shouldn't have to worry about contact near you, but definitely after the first initial cap, you need to be careful. So right here, I get shot at a whole bunch. I'm trying to do that turn on play to see if he chases, and he actually doesn't. I hear a door open on my right, so that kind of spooks me out a little bit. And I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens here, right? There's no reason for me to go barging into the room or anything yet. We're just kind of taking it slow. I'm looking for this guy. I don't see him, but he's apparently still watching an off angle that I'm not aware of. So I try to get out of this area as fast as possible, but we get caught in the back. So a little bit of a confusing play there. Definitely didn't make the perfect decisions. But you can see trying to turn around on someone and just seeing how that works. That's why you never want to chase anyone, because like if you don't catch that player, he's going to turn around, watch a corner, and as you're sprinting in, your gun isn't going to come up fast enough. So this time we're trying the left side to get into C, going straight on in from the second floor, slowing down on the corners, right? If there's anything to take away from this video, it's slow down on your corners. Now I'm noticing I have a friendly on the other side, and that he actually gets blasted right here. And I can see the splash, I can see the bullets, and I know that this player is sitting in the corner, so I just know where to get this guy. Now I'll hop on the flag here, and I look down, and there's another player down here. Now I'll pause real fast. We notice that the cap is blocked by the enemy. I control the second floor of the cap. By deductive reasoning, he's got to be on the first floor. So I know that the second floor is clear because I've cleared it. I'm going to go down now and expect to see this player down here. But just knowing the state of the cap is very important, because we've cleared the first floor. This guy comes up from the bottom, and now we're capping. So just being able to read the flag. Blocking means that there's more players than you on the cap. Capturing means that you outnumber the amount of people on the cap, the defenders or the other team. And then stalemate is 1-to-1. And anytime there's one defender on the point, it will stop the entire cap. So if you're defending, you always want to have someone in the cap, 100%. One quick thing I do want to go back here and actually take a look at again is why I decide to look up. So we come down here. This is actually pretty important. All right, so one thing I want to mention about this cap was that as we clear the second floor, my priority is now the first floor because I haven't been down here. I'm expecting them to be down here. I've got my gun aimed at the door, and then I realized, you know what? I don't need to aim at the door because if the door swings, I get a split second to know that they're coming through the door. I'm going to aim where I won't get a tell. But then this guy comes down here and he holds that angle, so I'm going to shift up. And this is just working off your team, right? And taking the initiative, right? If that guy's going to watch down there, I'll watch a different angle. And I managed to catch a guy coming in through the second floor. Now, right here, I noticed that my friendly on the left just gets absolutely clapped. So now I know, hey, I expect the guy on the right. Now, it's kind of risky to peek this because like we said before, we never want to take those front fights. But I'm betting that this guy's going to be running away because we just capped the flag. There's no reason for him to really be here anymore. He's going to probably want to fall back to D. So as I peek out the corner here, I notice that he's running behind the truck. I don't think I get him here. So what I do is I actually slide out to the left to see if I can find his body. Because there's no hit markers and no kill feed in Insurgency Sandstorm. The only way you get your kills is by seeing them drop or by finding their body. So this guy actually is doing the same thing, or what a good player would do, is just watching an angle and waiting for me to get baited into him. Unfortunately, he's not fast enough to shoot us, and so I'm able to line up my pre-peek and just spray him down with a pre-fire. But that player did almost everything right. He could have picked a better spot to watch me. Now, I'm trying to get around to Delta from the left flank here. Once again, trying not to go in directly whenever possible. And I get a little bit confused here, for sure, because I hear shots on my left, and it's from the actual window. So I can't even kill this guy, and I end up getting caught in the side. So I got baited by those shots a little bit. But we'll get back on the point and we'll sweep these guys out. So we're pushing back to Delta here. And remember what I said about flanking. Don't be scared of the red zone. So long as you're in the red zone for only a limited amount of time, you're fine. If you're just using it to move, you're fine. But don't expect to fight from it. So I know just from my gameplay experience, there's an area here where I can walk through the red zone. And I can just sit in it for a little bit and then come back into the play area. And by doing that, I actually get up here behind all these guys. So don't get scared of the red zone. A lot of new players, when they see the red zone, they'll instantly turn around. But play with it a little bit, you know? Be a little bit adventurous. Take a look at how far you can get, where you can go with how much time is left, and then pop back into the play area, because it won't kill you immediately. I know the big red sign is pretty scary, but so long as you're paying attention, you should be fine. So right now, I know that this whole second area is clear. I look down, I get a pick on the first floor, and now my concern is watching a cut, because I'm looking down, friendlies are on the cap. I'm looking for a cut now. So I'm just checking everything one last time. I noticed the waves have come in, right? I look down and I see the waves drop, so I know they're coming in. And I never knew I could go here. I've never tested this area. There's actually a cut here. And of course, my trash controller aim means I get killed. But that was a spot I learned just from being adventurous and pushing it out and trying to see what kind of angles we could get. I now know that there's a cut at the bottom of the stairs that I can use on that wave drop. So making sure that you're paying attention to all these little things, because that little wave drop told me, hey, I need to be looking for reinforcements. So that's why that's such a big tip, especially for push players. As we're pushing to this last objective here, once again, it's their last one. So they're down to 0 waves. It's just elimination or get the cash. And I'm pretty sure we just sweep this one. So as we push up to the objective, no contact yet. This is just a funny moment. This guy literally tries to run me over. And I run inside and he tries again. This was actually terrifying while I was playing. Because my controller sensitivity isn't what my keyboard sensitivity is. So like trying to turn and run away from that guy was absolutely gnarly. But yeah, that's pretty much the offensive round. And then defense was pretty much a sweep as well. We got MVP on this one, and that's pretty much how I play push. And once again, I'm not the best Sandstorm player. I obviously don't have the best aim, especially on console. But with these simple tricks, right? Slowing down, watching the red zone, watching the corners, knowing how to flank, and just keeping an eye on all the information your teammates and the wave counter below, you can really read the map pretty well. So I hope this video, helped you out and you'll improve. You'll die a lot, but that's just how it is. And if you're looking for more Sandstorm tips, realism, tactical videos, tactical shooter content, and all that good stuff, make sure you subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and as always, a special thank you to my channel members. If you want to get priority access to special gaming events and sessions, make sure you check out that blue join button down below. Also guys, just a reminder that you can buy any of the games I play and our merch at karmakut.com while supporting the channel directly. And just a reminder, if you are looking for people to buddy up with and play with, make sure you find your friends at discord.gg/karmakut. But that's all I've got for you guys today. I do hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. And until next time, good hunting out there.